What's the scariest moment you had under fire? I was 3 months into my deployment in Afghanistan when our convoy got hit by an IED outside Kandahar. The explosion flipped our Humvee, and suddenly we were taking heavy fire from 3 directions. I was the medic, 22 years old, and this was my first real combat situation. My ears were ringing so loud I could barely hear our sergeant screaming orders. That's when I saw Martinez. He was our machine gunner, barely 19, and shrapnel from the blast had torn through his leg. Blood was everywhere, and he was going into shock fast. The scary part wasn't the bullets flying over our heads or the RPGs exploding around us. The scary part was realizing that this kid's life was completely in my hands, and I had no idea if I was good enough to save him. My training kicked in, but my hands were shaking as I applied the tourniquet. Martinez kept trying to get back on his gun, saying we needed covering fire. "Stay down, Martinez, let me work." But he wasn't listening. He was 19 and thought he was invincible. That's when the second wave of attacks started. More insurgents had flanked us from the east, and we were completely pinned down. I'm trying to stop Martinez from bleeding out while bullets are hitting the dirt inches from our faces. Our radio operator is calling for air support, but we're told it's 20 minutes out. Then Martinez grabbed my arm. "Doc, I can't feel my leg." That's when I realized the tourniquet wasn't holding. The shrapnel had hit an artery, and he was losing blood faster than I could control it. I had to expose myself to enemy fire to get to my medical kit for a hemostatic agent. I told Martinez, "I need you to keep pressure here while I move." This kid, who couldn't feel his leg and was going into shock, nodded and pressed his hands exactly where I showed him. I low-crawled 15 feet through active gunfire to reach my pack. Bullets were hitting so close, I could feel the dirt spray on my face. When I got back with the clotting agent, he was still maintaining pressure exactly like I'd taught him, even though his face was gray from blood loss. "Good job, Marine," I said as I worked. He looked at me with these scared 19-year-old eyes and said, "Doc, am I gonna make it home?" I'd never been asked that question before. In that moment, with explosions going off around us and this kid bleeding in my hands, I realized the weight of what it meant to be someone's lifeline. "Yeah, Martinez, you're going home." Air support arrived 12 minutes later. The medevac helicopter got Martinez to the field hospital where surgeons saved his leg. 6 months later, I got a letter from Martinez. He'd made it home to Texas, was walking normally, and had enrolled in community college. At the bottom, he wrote, "Doc, you didn't just save my life that day. You taught me what real courage looks like." The scariest moment under fire wasn't about the enemy shooting at us. It was looking into the eyes of someone who trusted me completely and knowing I couldn't let them down.